Hello everyone, Lau here. Welcome back to my channel and welcome to my Q&A video or videos. I'm guessing it might be more than one video. You guys asked questions and I want to answer them. And I was not expecting that you guys asked so many questions, like so many amazing questions. And I was underestimating that a lot of you would also ask more than one question in like per comment. So if I tried to count them all, but it's about 70 questions. And there's not any question in there that I decided to not answer because of reasons. I think all of them have the right to be answered. And even if I would just use 1 minute per answer, or per question, it would be over an hour, because 70 minutes, that would be over an hour. But I probably will talk a lot on certain questions. So it might be 2 videos, it might be 3 videos. I would always kind of cut it at the hour mark and then make the rest the other video. It might be, I don't know. So if it's multiple videos, you probably see it in the title, it says probably part 1, then I will upload the part 2 or the part 3 always probably already the next day. So that I don't spend multiple weeks on just the Q&A thing. But I just couldn't choose questions that I don't want to answer because it's not really fair. But yeah, I asked you here on YouTube in the comments, and I also got a couple of questions over on Instagram, and I want to answer all of them. As I already said in the announcement video of the Q&A, I will talk about my toy collecting journey anyways. A couple of you still ask hey, when did you start collecting? Why do you like ponies the most? Something like that. But generally I will answer that anyways. That's what I will start with. So let's just start with what made me the toy collector that I am today. I collect mainly the girly toys, you could say. Don't really want to always say boy toy, girl toy, but how else should I describe it? Of course, girls can play with cars and boys can play with Barbies, but they were marketed towards these genders. So that's why, I kind of say I collect mostly the girly toys. My Little Pony, Polly Pocket, all the stuff from especially the 80s and 90s. That's my childhood. So that's what I collect. You see behind me all the stuff. And if you watch my videos anyways, then you know that. Okay, let's start. I was born in 1988. And I was born in a country that's not existing anymore. I was born in the former GDR. So DDR, German Democratic Republic. So my sisters who are very much older than me, they grew up in that country. And stuff from the Western countries, toys, movies, whatever, they were not available. So they grew up completely different than what I grew up. But in '88, I was born, so that means I just spent 1 year in that country, and then Germany got reunited. And by 1989, 1990, everything was available to everyone. So my parents at that point, obviously then, oh my goodness, everything's available, all these colorful things. Of course, we're gonna buy our daughter these toys. So I grew up with the toys that I nowadays collect. I grew up with My Little Pony. I grew up with Barbies, with Polly Pocket, with vintage Lila's Pet Shop, all of that stuff. But I never was a collector. So I just had those toys and played with them. When I was around maybe 10 years old or something, I gave a lot of my toys away to my niece. I have a niece that's pretty close in age to me, so I became already an aunt when I was 6 years old. So we kind of grew up more like sisters, but she got a lot of my toys, and I just gave my ponies to her. I gave my Polly Pockets to her, whatever. And a lot of the stuff I never got back because I also have another niece, so she has a younger sister. And over time, things, get lost when you move, whatever. And I kind of grew out of toys like in the late 90s. And I became, you know, fan of Pokemon, Digimon. I got a huge fan of the Lord of the Rings. I got into Star Wars. At one point I got into manga anime. I love Japanese stuff. I read manga and watched anime and all that. I became like a cosplayer. I was very influenced by Japanese street style, you know, Lolita fashion. Everything like that was seen like in those cool magazines like Kira and Fruits, or like Gothic Lolita Bible. And I was like a cosplayer, and during all of that time, collecting, that was not a thing to me. I was not interested in toys. I didn't even understand why people would buy, you know, anime figurines, like busts or something like that. Why would you? Because I would always like decide to, you know, show off what I like in terms of my clothes. So clothes were the most important things. I wanted to dress like the characters that I loved, or I wanted to, you know, whatever, like being seen in that style. So that was the thing. I couldn't understand why people would put things in their rooms just to, like, I love. So I was not really a collector at all. Like nobody in my family is. So that's actually a foreign concept to me. But I definitely remember during that time when I was into gyaru fashion. That's a fashion style, a Japanese fashion style with, you know, huge makeup, like very flashy, kind of revealing sometimes, you know, short skirts and stuff like that, high hair, like very like voluminous hair, and being that really much like, you know, a little bit of a bitchy attitude. And that's a specific street style coming from Shibuya in Japan, and I loved that whole vibe. I had a blog, like a fashion blog during that time on Blogspot, like every gaijin gyaru, so every not from Japan gyaru had at that time, and I followed other blogs. And in one of these blogs, someone took just a selfie, and in the background of this person's selfie, there was a little shelf with, you know, colorful ponies on it. And I just loved that. I was like, oh, this looks so cute. I want to have that too. Like, wait, aren't these the ponies that I had when I was little? And I started researching, you know, colorful ponies. And it's very easy to come across that they actually called My Little Pony, or in German, they were called Mein kleines Pony. It turns out the ponies on this photo, they weren't actually the first generation My Little Ponies that I grew up with. She had G2 ponies on the shelf, but I kind of suddenly remembered, like, oh my goodness, yeah, I had these ponies, like, oh, that's so cute. I just want to have one little shelf with all of these colorful ponies that I had when I was little, and it will just look super cute in my room. That's where I started. I wanted to have some G1 My Little Ponies, and I bought, like, that was probably in 2013. Yeah, I was still studying at that time, didn't have too much money. I tried to go to flea markets, or at least my local flea market, but like, I don't know, I wasn't lucky there. I went way too late in the day. I just tried it maybe 3 times, and I was like, I shoot it, I will never find ponies there. And I also wasn't in the toy community at that point. I was just knowing, okay, I want to have a couple of cute ponies to decorate my room with. And I bought them online. eBay, I already had an eBay account back then, so like, oh, that's cool. They are kind of affordable, at least a lot of them. So I got a couple. And during the next years, it was just very, like, rarely, a couple of times per year, maybe a handful per ponies per year. There were years when I didn't even buy a single pony. I was still considering myself, yeah, a G1 My Little Pony collector, but after, I don't know, in 2017, 18, 19, I had maybe 20 ponies or something like that. So really not a lot. And I found a couple of G3 ponies during that time span when I went to like street festivals that had like a little flea market part or something like that. So I had acquired a couple of other ponies, G3s. I think I had, at one point I found a couple of G4s, because I also kind of, my brain at one point, I understood that these G4 ponies, you know, from the TV show Friendship is Magic, which like in 2013 when I started, it was everywhere. It was super popular. People were cosplaying it at conventions, and I was still huge into cosplaying. So I saw these and I was like, what's that? Ponies? And my brain at that point like, oh, these are actually what like my childhood ponies evolved into. So I kind of connected and I started also watching the show. I loved it, but it was never really my main focus. I was a cosplayer. I was into J fashion, blogging. Disney became a huge thing. Became a huge fan of the Disney parks, and I wanted to make YouTube. I always knew it. I didn't know really what. Then I started off in 2019 with a little bit of cosplay content, going out to conventions, filming that. At least I wanted to do that, and I still had this in my mind. I'm a My Little Pony collector, and as I was watching a lot of YouTube, I stumbled upon a YouTube channel. She was called Heather Sparkles. She was pretty popular in like 2017, 2018, 2019, and if you're around for this long concerning, you know, toy collecting on YouTube, then you probably know her. She isn't doing any content anymore. She has kind of changed completely. She at one point she wasn't like into the colorful, you know, glitzy, girly toys. She started to become more gothic, and really, so at one point she was not around anymore in the community. But I got so many out of her videos, like her collection videos. They inspired me so much, because like suddenly I was seeing, oh, like you can have a whole collection room, and not just with My Little Ponies, because, you know, of course there were other toys that are also super cute, like Polly Pockets or like certain dolls. Like, I don't know, I learned so much from her videos, although she was not really doing, you know, toy history content. But just by seeing her naming a couple of toys, hey, this is a Lady Lovely Locks, and here, this is a Cherry Mary Muffin, and whatever she said, I kind of like just acquired a kind of a knowledge about what toys were out there in the 80s and 90s. And like secretly, I wanted to also start getting a bigger collection, but I was still so much occupied with cosplay. Cosplay here, cosplay there, Star Wars cosplay, Star Wars celebrations. I went to so many conventions per year. I made so many cosplays. There was no time really for doing anything in the collecting thing. I got a little bit more into collecting in the end of 2019. I think already also in 2018 at conventions. For example, I found a Keeper's pony there, because, you know, vintage toys were already at these conventions also. At one point my niece gave me like Polly Pockets, which she thought they were from like my childhood, but they were not. I don't know where they came from, but then I had a couple of Polly Pockets, had a couple of Keepers, and was still into ponies. I found more G1 ponies at conventions in the end of 2019, and that kind of like sparked the joy, oh my goodness, and I started to buying slowly again online. And then 2020 came, and you know what happened in the beginning of that year. For me, that meant there were no conventions happening anymore. There was not really a need to sew any more cosplays. And suddenly I kind of had time to get more into the toy thing. I started especially like getting like, oh wow, I was so like learning all the pony names and all the pony sets and like poses of ponies, and oh my goodness, like mail orders and blah 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 blah. I was so soaking up every piece of information, and I still wanted to make YouTube videos. And at that point I was like, okay, I started off with these cosplay videos, but I mean, I'm not a big channel. I can squeeze in like a toy video here and there, why not? And I made videos about, you know, the ponies that I bought online, and I made videos about, I don't know, my first trials of pony restorations or whatever, and it was so much fun for me. And then I like discovered other YouTube channels, people that went to flea markets, and I was like, oh my goodness, when flea markets are opening up, and they opened up then in summer of 2020 again, I went to flea markets and I just took my camera with me, and I kind of never returned to making cosplay content or being huge into cosplay. Everything else happened. I found so many toy lines that I was interested in, and the first generation of My Little Pony is still my main focus collection. But there's so much stuff out there that's amazing. And I find a couple of things at flea markets, and I try to find cool toy stores, and I always take the camera with me, because like this, I feel like I can share it with people. Because like in my normal life, my friends, I got to know most of my friends through cosplay or through, you know, J fashion. So they are not into collecting. Most of them are absolutely not into that. So it feels like I can talk to someone about all of these things and I love talking. You know, I love talking. So it's great. I can talk to the camera and know that there are people who actually enjoy what I'm doing. And I enjoy making YouTube videos because I love YouTube. I myself watch tons of YouTube. So I combined the two, and cosplay is just like, it's not really relevant in my life right now. Doesn't mean I have stopped thinking about which cosplays I want to do or stuff like that, but it kind of switched, you know. Through my whole cosplay and J fashion life, I have been a collector a little bit of My Little Pony. But the other two things were the main parts of my life. Now it has switched, and the toys are like the main part of my life, and YouTube, and like cosplay is kind of on the, you know, not on the priority level very high. So, and here I am. You know what my collection looks like, and I'm not planning to stop anytime soon. So I think I have answered a couple of questions from you already in like this thing, which was how many minutes? 17 minutes something I'm talking already. So I will go through all of your questions, and if I stumble upon a question that I have already kind of answered, I will obviously not answer it again. I have printed out all of your questions. I tried to arrange them a little bit in a way that kind of makes sense, but then again, some people ask like multiple questions, like 10 questions or what, and a couple of them are more private, a couple of them are more toy related, and I couldn't always just like, but I tried to make it more like general toy questions, specific toy questions, and then like private questions. But I actually want to start with the Instagram questions, which were not a lot, and I will tackle them at first now, because I forgot to print them on this, so and it's just 3 or something. So let's start with the first Instagram question, which comes from Mrs. Sophie Murray, and she, probably Mrs. wants to know, do you collect any Hasbro My Little Bunny puppy kitty litters? So the little litters that was like a kind of a spin-off line of My Little Pony, of also very cute bunnies and puppies or kitties. They are flocked, and no, I don't collect them. Not because I don't like them, but more like because they're not around here. I don't think that they were sold in Europe. You never find them online, and especially not out in the wild. So if I would find one, or some of them would pop up online for an affordable price or something like that, I would probably grab them, because they kind of belong to My Little Pony, are equally as cute. Flocked, which is not really my favorite, but yeah, for now I don't collect them, but I would if I could. So then, 2 questions concerning Polly Pocket. They come from Polly Pocket Locket. So it makes sense that she would ask something about Polly Pocket. Or he. I don't obviously know this person. Q&A. What is the rarest Polly Pocket in your collection? And what is the Polly Pocket you would love to own? Well, the rarest Polly Pocket in my collection, I think, is this one. It's the Shooting Star eraser case, and the only reason I have it is because, you know, I have generous friends who send things like this to me. This came from Winifred. She lives in Hong Kong, and she sent this in one of her like packages to me. And I think this is a really, really rare and expensive one. It's obviously not complete because I don't have any of the erasers or like, you know, stationery goods, but I have the doll. And I've never even seen this online being sold. Like never ever. So it really is a rare one. So I think this is the rarest Polly Pocket in my collection. In terms of expensive, I actually also think this one, and that also came from Winifred. This is the Peter Pan Disney one. So it's not really technically a Polly Pocket, but like, you know. And I do even have a couple of the figures. So these are probably my rarest and most expensive Polly Pockets. In terms of which ones I would like to get, this is actually a question that also, let's come here, also Rachel from Rachel Retro asked, but I will come to her questions later on, but she also asked, what Polly Pocket, if any, are you really, really wanting right now? And actually, like Polly Pocket that I really would like to have more of are lockets. And I really, really want more lockets, but I just can't get myself to spend the prices that are like asked for them online. You know, they are the super smallest ones. I only have a couple of lockets, like 3 or something. So they are super small, there's just super tiny space, and there's one doll. Okay, so maybe sometimes there are accessories, but like, and they are like so expensive. Like I would maybe pay like 25 or something for one, but that's already for me like kind of for this little bit of plastic. But they go more for like 50 or so, like even sometimes without figure, like, but like if I really think about one really like grail Polly Pocket that I would really like to have, which will probably never happen because I've also never seen it for sale, is the Moonbright pencil case. It kind of goes a little bit along with this, you know, stationery thing, a little bit like this one, but this is a moon, like a crescent moon in purple, and you open it up and it's like a ship in the sky, and it's also for, you know, stationery, you know, it's more like a pencil case. That, like, yeah, Polly Pocket wise, probably my grail. And then Polly Pocket Locket also wants to know, what is your favorite Polly Pocket in your collection? And I think still, although I have it since kind of the beginning, is Fairy Light Wonderland. This is actually a Polly Pocket that like my niece one day for Christmas, like she just gave me this and was like, "Hey, I found one of your old Polly Pockets again." And this has never been my Polly Pocket. I didn't have that when I was little. You just found it in your like drawer or somewhere? It must have been from someone else. I guess like one of my other nieces, like the older niece, she probably just traded toys with someone else or something like that, and this is how it ended up. And I got it for Christmas from my niece. It's not this one, because this one I actually found at the flea market. I have 2 of them. But this is, it's just the most beautiful one. It's big, the color, it has a special shape. The inside is like amazing. So this one doesn't light up, the other one still lights up. But like, oh my goodness. It's not rare. It kind of has gotten a little expensive, but this is my still, although I have a couple of maybe more rarer ones or whatever, this is like my favorite Polly Pocket in my collection and will probably always be. Although it's not a childhood one. My niece thought it's one of my childhood ones, but it wasn't. yeah, and these were the questions from Instagram, so like 3. I thought I knew it wasn't a lot. That's why I kind of almost forgot about them. And I think now the questions that I want to start with are a little bit more like, I couldn't really put them in any categories, but I want to start with also the first person that actually asked the question, and the others are not in any order of like when they were sent in, but Brani Imagination. Yeah, I think that's correct. By the way, if I butcher any of your names, I'm sorry, but it's a lot of names, it's a lot of people, and a lot of numbers sometimes. But Brani Imagination, he's asking, and I'm not gonna always read the whole question. I kind of put together what it's called, and I will just quickly insert a screenshot of the question. So if you want to really read the question in detail, you can just quickly stop the video, read it, and yeah. So, but actually he wants to know which my favorite sources to learn about toys are, and he kind of like explained that he's from, you know, Eastern Europe, and especially when he was younger, he kind of loved the Quelle catalogs, and he had like a little bit of a collection of like pages from these catalogs because there were toys in there, but it's long lost, and if I know some place where they maybe are uploaded. For this question, no, I don't know. The Quelle catalog was a thing, you know, you could, before like online shopping, you had these big catalogs, and you know, in the US it's maybe like JCPenney catalogs or something like that, Quelle. And the only thing I can tell you is if you search for like what is it, like scans, you find some, but I don't know where you would find like years and years and years of Quelle catalogs uploaded. I don't think anyone has scanned them all or something. But my favorite resources are like to learn about toys. YouTube. Other YouTubers, watching, also like opening your mind to not just, if you're just into the girly toys, maybe here and there also watch someone who's more just into dolls or into more the boyish toys. You learn a lot. So like YouTube. B, websites. There are tons of websites that are dedicated to just one toy line. Like for Polly Pocket, it's only pollypocket.com. For like ponies, I have like a lot of pages, like My Little Vicky, Ponylande.de, Strawberry Reef. Then there are specific sites that are maybe just for G2 ponies, etc. I will link all of those down below. There's also a specific website that I use when I want to know anything about Kenner Littlest Pet Shops. But like one of the best websites with like tons of different toy lines on there is Ghost of the Doll. I'm pretty sure you know that website. And when there's a toy line not listed on there, I usually go over to Toy Sisters. They also, like for example, while Ghost of the Doll has just a little bit about Puppy Surprise, Toy Sisters has a bigger variety about different Puppy Surprise information and the different toys that were out or whatever. And also about, you know, modern Littlest Pet Shop, it's more better on Toy Sisters. For Barbie, I have 2 sources. Which one goes more into the faces, so the face molds, and you can identify Barbies by their faces the best, fashion dolls, and then there's the Barbie Collector's Guide, which goes per year, all of the Barbie releases, and there's so much more. Other good sources, I mean, apart from, you know, just browsing through Instagram, and, you know, I don't know, going through real old catalogs or like pamphlets, something like that. If you can get a hold of, you know, toy fair catalogs, like that would be amazing. I don't have any, I have a couple of retail catalogs. But other things, just really like strolling through like websites that sell toys, you know, eBay, eBay Kleinanzeigen, Vinted, whatever you have, you will learn also a lot from that. sometimes all of this information might not be correct, but you kind of also learn about pricing, what they get sold for, what people are asking for them. So also that's another good resource. Sometimes I just find out about Barbie fashion pieces when I see them listed on, I don't know, eBay. And then this person maybe knows the name, and then I'm like, and then, yeah, I also learn from those. So these are the best resources, I think. Steffi's Kleines Wunderland. And I will always most often leave the numbers away because it's Steffi's Kleines Wunderland. 5164, I will leave that away. She asks how often I have to dust. The honest answer is I don't dust. No, I don't want to say I never dust, but wait, let me get this thing. I have this, and I go over it. Like, for example, just like, it's, you know, it's static, and then it kind of gets the dust a little bit off. I use this maybe, I don't know, a couple of times per month, I don't know. Because like a lot of my stuff, like with these ponies here, that's no issue because they're actually behind glass, you know, actually it's closed. But really taking every toy from the shelf, taking a little like cloth, maybe wet, and then going over it, I cannot do that. I mean, if the day would have 100 hours or something, like maybe, yeah, but so what I do is like just doing this a couple of times per month, and actually only when I rearrange shelves, then that's the time when I take off all of the toys from that shelf and dust them really with a wet, you know, washcloth or something like that. Yeah, and of course there's gonna be dust. That's just what it is. I cannot clone myself to have multiple people always dusting. That's what it is. I don't dust very often. And she actually also wants to know how my family kind of reacts to my steadily growing collection. And a couple of other people ask very similar questions. For example, Laura Lilibet. She wants to know, how would you deal with people who might judge you for collecting toys? Has that ever happened? And also, Melefortius, she also wants to know, do you ever feel ashamed about your collection? How do you deal with people who think it's weird? So to all of that, it's kind of about, you know, it's kind of in the same vein of how do people react? How do I like deal with people who react in a certain way? Or am I ashamed of that? No. It has never happened to me that anyone would, you know, actively say something negative about my collection. Obviously, I cannot look into people's brains, what they think. Maybe people might think, oh, it's actually kind of crazy. But they don't say it, and then there's no issue. Like, like my family is probably least approving of it. I mean, but they kind of also know that I'm a little bit different than most people. You know, I've always been into crazy hobbies. I've always been really, I'm always like all or nothing. Like, you know, that mentality. When I was into Lord of the Rings, and I was so much into Lord of the Rings, I would only do these things, I would only read this, I would draw this, and blah, 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 blah. Or like cosplaying. They kind of are like, they have gotten used to me being a little bit like having crazy hobbies. My mom is always just like concerned about my place. Isn't that enough? You can't fit anything. She was the same already with my cosplays when I made more and more costumes. Isn't that enough now? You don't even know where to put them. There's no space. My mom is always like concerned about space. Because she is quite a different person to me. She is a minimalist. Her flat looks like an IKEA catalog. She's super tidy, super clean, everything. Like nothing lays around, not even, I don't know, not even her mobile phone lays around. It has a certain place where she puts it away, or something like that, you know. So it's very like, but she's not judging. It's just sometimes she's even interested. Oh, that's something new, right? I've never seen that when she's here or something. And literally everyone in my surrounding knows that I'm collecting toys. Every one of my colleagues knows it. And I actually am always really proud of what I'm doing. Like when I'm huge into like Japanese fashion, and I want to show that. I want to wear that. I want to look different. I want to like, you know, I want everyone always to know what I'm into because I'm so proud of it. I'm like 100% behind it. And like, for example, I work 3 days in home office. And when we have meetings or something, I don't even blur my background deliberately, so people can see that there's something colorful behind me. No, I'm not ashamed, but also like all of my colleagues, they are like, oh, that's interesting. Wow, and are you finding that stuff at flea markets? And oh, and that's actually, other people really are collecting this? So interesting, because we also have like, you know, motto stand-ups or something where we just talk about, you know, anything and everything about hobbies or about what would your biggest dream be or something like that. So, and it has always been like that. Like even when I started another job before what I'm doing now, like the first day of working there, someone was like, you're actually into cosplay, right? I was like, well, can you just see that I'm into cosplay? Yeah, you had this in your CV with you're doing costumes, and then I see you and it just makes sense. And I'm like, oh, okay, yeah, it's correct, I do cosplay. I always tell people, and it has never been, I've never had any negative reactions. I've had negative reactions when I was like when I'm dressed a little bit more flashy and I'm outside, then people are just like, oh, is it Halloween already? Ha ha ha. I'm just like, yeah, well, so what? So, and also everybody knows that I'm doing YouTube videos. Like, I don't know, what can I say? Okay, yeah, the last question part of it was from Melefortius, and she had a couple of more questions, she and her sister. Her first question is actually about childhood toys. So we were wondering which toys from a childhood you still have retrieved, that's the word, have retrieved, so which ones I've gotten back, and which ones I still would like to collect. So, as I already kind of mentioned, I kind of gave all of my childhood toys kind of away to my nieces, etc. I just have a very, very small amount of my childhood toys still to this day. One of them is this guy. This is Hoppy. It was probably one of my first plushies. It's not from a specific toy line, it's just a generic rainbow bunny. I got him when I was really, really young, like 1 year or something. It was probably a toy that was still brought from the western part of Germany over to the GDR from one of my grandparents. And it has always been with me. It's my most special toy in my collection. That's one of my childhood toys. And he's called Hoppy because that's the name I gave him back then. I still also have a couple of my dinosaurs. Zack. 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 They used to live with my niece for a very long time, but I kind of got them back maybe 2 years ago or something. I had way more because I love dinosaurs. I still do. I still love dinosaurs. That was my favorite one. Rosie. Now it's actually a Parasaurolophus, and I remember getting her when we visited the Natural Museum of Natural History, Naturkunde Museum in Berlin. Yeah. So, but I called her Rosie. Then I have also still a couple of my childhood Barbies. This is my childhood Barbie. No, none of them are now wearing anything that I had in my childhood. This is actually more an equestrian Barbie, so she would, wear actually, this, the riding jacket, so with horses, etc. But I kind of dressed her in this roller skating outfit now. I have this with Ken. You saw him in one of my other videos, so he's actually the hot skating Ken from I think 1995. She's now wearing totally hair Ken's outfit, and I still have my old Petra. She's also not wearing what she was usually, what's like her original outfit, because I don't know what her original outfit actually was. I have something like, this is a Petra bathing suit. Yeah, but I don't think that this was hers. But yeah, I still have my old Petra. And a couple of more Barbie outfits actually. So like this from a Ken or a Fred from Petra. I already showed you this. This is from my childhood Sweetheart Barbie. I just recently got Sweetheart Barbie for Christmas. You maybe remember that. That's still from my childhood Cut and Style Barbie. This is from one of my childhood Steffi Loves. That was kind of a knockoff of Totally Hair Barbie, because she had styling gel for her hair. This crazy thing used to come with no trousers. One of my childhood Barbie skirts, my childhood Barbie wedding dress, and then these three, which came in a set. This, and this was a fashion pack. This always used to be my favorite piece of all time. This is not from childhood, but I got it back. This is the set that these three dresses came together. And I still have my childhood Barbie, case. This one. In terms of which toys I got already back from my childhood, let me grab them. If we keep in line with Barbie, of course, like this was my favorite childhood Barbie. This is the gymnast Barbie. I cannot hold everything, that's why I put it away. I don't have a desk in front of me today because I have to move around, etc. I have a couple of other pieces just back. For example, let's leave this for another question, because she will also appear in another question. But like, this was like my childhood Tycho Ariel. Not this one, but I have gotten it back, so I have retrieved it. My two Littlest Pet Shop sets from when I was little, and they are complete. They are in there, but I have them with the box. So these two I had, and I got them back. I retrieved them. I actually have most of the stuff back already. There are a couple of Barbies that I still want, but like for example, also for Polly Pockets. I had the ski lodge when I was young. I had this, Polly Pocket and names, I sometimes forget them. Playroom, I don't remember, but this one. I had the Stable on the Go. I had the Splash and Fun Water Park. Is that the name? And this was my first childhood Polly Pocket, the Party Time Surprise. So it's kind of crazy when I see, for example, my childhood Polly Pockets. I just had these 5. I didn't have many more, but when I see them all together, I feel something, like just the colors of them. Yeah, I just had 5 Polly Pockets, but I have all of them that I had back. Now let's get to the ponies. I have all of my childhood ponies back. So there are no childhood ponies that I can remember that I had when I was little that I don't have in my collection today. This was my absolute favorite pony and still is. So she will appear in more questions definitely. Half Note from Rock and Beats. I had Chatterbox from, the Talking Ponies. Like, kämmst du mein Haar? Ich hab dich lieb. That's what she says. Like, I love you and do you comb my hair? These two from the School Time Ponies, so Music Time and Sports Time. Fleecy and Woolly from the Baby Pony and Pretty Pals. So Baby Pony mit Spielfreund. Jazzy from the Roller Skate Ponies, or Inline Skate. Oh, I always mix it up. I think Roller Skate is the correct name. Moonjumper from the Windy Wings. Baby Soft Steps from the Baby Ballerina Ponies. Yeah, English name here. Sometimes on some websites she's called Baby Night Song. That's what I refer to her, but sometimes also people say that this is Baby Stellar and the orange one is Baby Night Song. But like she was my very first childhood pony. And that I'm not 100% sure, but I think I had one of the Rainbow Curl ponies and I think I had ringlets. So I'm pretty sure I had her. It could have also been Stripes, but potentially it's her. Yeah, so I had 10 childhood ponies. I have them all back. In terms of like childhood toys that I still want to get back, like Tidy Barbie, Cut and Style Barbie. I have the outfit like 3 times already. I need the doll. Jewel Hair Mermaid. Also I have the outfit complete. I don't have the doll. And I think that's actually it, because I also remember other toys or toy lines that when I was little, but that I'm not interested in getting back. Like for example, I liked Smurfs. I had all of these little, you know, rubber Schleich Smurfs and the whole Smurf village. Am I interested in getting them back? Nah, not really. No space, and they're just not, they're just not my vibe right now. So I think I'm pretty good. Just a couple of Barbies. Next question again from Melle Fortius. I hope I say your name correct. She asked, and if you could, would you design a toy yourself? If so, do you have any ideas and what would it be? Like she says, she and her sister, they often dream about doing that. To be honest, no. I actually don't want to design a toy myself. I don't know, I have no desire to do that. I mean, I could still think about what I would design, because what I might sometimes think about is like, you know, there are a lot of independent like toy makers, especially more in the, you know, action figure world, that are designing full action figure lines that are not based on any property, and they're, you know, a toy line of, you know, cowboy action figures because that's not on the market right now or something like that. And I think about like, why is actually nobody doing that for all the cutesy girly toys? I mean, sure, there's the HQG1 custom pony project, but they're kind of discontinuing first generation of My Little Pony. They're not designing anything new. And if I would design, I think I would make a toy line of, you know, brushable little animals in the same vein of, you know, My Little Pony, Little Pretty fairy tale birds, but not just like one kind of animal, but like all animals. You know, I especially love the Pony Friends, where we have a dinosaur and we have like a camel and a lion and an elephant or whatever, and a whole line of like these, like in the same look or very similar cute eyes with lovely luscious hair, colors. They could have symbols, or they could have, I don't know, a couple of cute accessories that you could put on or something like that. Some are glow in the dark, some are, you know, glittery, whatever, and always in like lines, like same as My Little Pony. Kind of the size also could be a little smaller, but not by a lot. That would be cool if someone would do that. Also dinosaurs, and there could be one line of just dinosaurs, and one line could be, you know, forest animals, and one line could be like, I don't know, farm animal. I don't know. That would be probably the cutest, what I can think of. And lastly, Mille Fortius also asked if I would like to make a video in which I just rummage through my entire comb and brush collection. I don't know if that is super interesting. I could do that. but I would only do it if, like, maybe if you comment down below and like at least 5 people or something like that tell me, oh, I would love to do that. She says like something like just casually going through the ones you like the most, that are unique or that you can identify, or something you can't identify, or whatever. I would just pin the camera down on all of my brushes, and I was like, oh, these are pony combs, I like this the most. These are Barbie combs. This one I've never seen before. Do you know what it is? Sure, I could do that, but I don't know how interesting that really is. If you really want to see that, put it in the comments. And also she asks, I mean, that wasn't really a Q&A question, but I told her like probably just easiest to show it in this video. How do you set those pretty wavy curls in your hair? She probably is talking about like this. I probably will zoom out, maybe even like this, yeah. It's actually pretty easy how I do it. Obviously I wash my hair, and it needs to be kind of dry, mostly like in the evening or something. Not super wet, but not too dry, somewhere in between. And then I put it in 2 parts. And this part I just, you know, like both sides, I just twirl. Not doing like this already inside and then twirling, no. Just open, twirl them, da 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 da. Do it with both. Not really doing it the whole way around, but just so you get an idea. If I would just put a like rubber band at the edges, it would open up again. But then I fasten them both together here. And then I sleep. And they dry overnight, like completely then. And then I open them up. And I don't set them in a way, I don't use any special products or something. Sure, I put a little bit of hairspray in it, but that's it. What did I do? And then, yeah, like the ends sometimes are a little bit crooked. If they look like too straight or not like not good enough, I use this contraption here to like just do like the ends a little bit like, and that's it. So there's nothing that I really specifically, there's no, like everybody can do it, I think. Sure, my hair is probably good for just it stays in there, but yeah. So okay, I decided to change the location up a little bit, so it's not that boring to you. I never film in that area. It's also very difficult to put a camera there because the space is very limited. But I don't know, you can maybe see my Lady Lovely Locks shelf and my Barbies and a couple of other ponies behind me that you, maybe if I step aside, also a couple of Polly Pockets, but anyways, that you usually don't see behind me. Let's get to the next page. Designer Diva. She or he, she probably asks, could you do a Barbie specific collection video? And then actually her question for the Q&A is, would be, how do you make doll friends or toy friends in your area? So first of all, Barbie specific collection video. I do these full collection videos every half a year, and in that you also see always my current Barbie collection. I don't know if I would make a specific Barbie collection video. Should I just show you the shelves, or like take everything off of the shelves and show every Barbie? I don't know. I'm not really thinking about doing that, to be honest, because I had like thoughts about doing specific collection videos, just my Polly Pockets, or I don't know, smaller collections like my Lady Lovely Locks or whatever. But I never get around to do that because I have so many other stuff that I want to show you. So I don't know, this would be additional content to what I'm doing anyways, and I already have like time capacity issues. So don't think that I will make a Barbie specific collection video, but there will be Barbie specific haul videos very soon. Yeah, and the question with the how do I make local toy friends? What should I say? I don't have a lot of local toy friends, so the answer is I don't. Like the only person that I kind of know is also into collecting, and I would call a friend, and this lives very close by, so in Berlin, is actually Cotton Candy Kittens. And I just got to know her at the flea market. You have kind of like experienced that in the video. I just met her at the flea market. We were rummaging through the same box of toys, and I said like, oh, looks like a G3 pony, something small, like blah blah, and she looks up and like, kind of, I think I know you, or I think I follow you. So she kind of knew my videos, or at least me from Instagram, and then we kind of connected, and since then we have met at flea markets, sometimes deliberately, sometimes like just by coincidence. We have traded toys, we have met up for other reasons, whatever. So I would call her a friend now, and we also write online sometimes. But every other person that I know in the toy collecting community is not from my area, so it's really difficult to make local friends in that case, because everything nowadays is so online, and when you get to know someone, might be living in the complete opposite part of your country or on the complete opposite part of the world. So I know a lot of people from the US, but I also am like always a little bit hesitant to call everyone friends. I know those people, I talk to them online, and it's really nice, but I'm always like, can you really call it friends if you have never really met them? It's a little bit difficult, and I'm not really good with keeping up with friends to begin with, because like just answering like messages sometimes is really, don't like to do it, and I procrastinate and I don't answer, stuff like that. And I also don't need to see people all that often. So to ask me about like how do I do with friends is always a little bit like, you know, I go out toy hunting alone, etc. So I'm always a little bit more on my own. I have friends, I love to have friends, but like my close friends are not from the toy collecting community, and I don't even see them that often. Once a month or something like that, so yeah. Okay, next question came from Sarah Hauk. Yeah, or Hauk, just Sarah Hauk. Sarah asks, do you ever consider moving to a bigger place where you could have a dedicated pony room? She asks because she has an unhealthy obsession of fantasizing about moving for various reasons. Honestly, I mean, yeah, of course, sometimes I think about what would it be if I would have a dedicated, like I have another flat that's bigger with a dedicated room where I can put my collection. But it's not really a reality. I'm not really thinking about moving because one of the reasons why I'm able to like afford what I'm doing, like collecting toys, going on vacation, going to Disney World, Disneyland, whatsoever, is because I have this very, very affordable flat. It might be small, it's just 2 rooms, but I'm also on my own and I can put stuff wherever I want. If I would have a bigger apartment with a dedicated room, like, and I would just put my collection in there, wouldn't that be totally boring in the other rooms? What would I have in my other rooms then? Like, I obviously spend most of the time in this room. This is like my living room, also my work room, and it's also my collection room. And that's fun. Like, I'm sitting on my desk, I'm just like, oh, this freaking Excel sheet, blah blah. And I just look to the left, there's all these ponies, or there's behind me, there's all these Barbies. Or when I'm sitting at the couch watching TV or something, just one look to the side, there are all of these cute plushies. So like, I probably, if I would move, I would still put my toys in my whole area. I would have just more space that I could get more clutter for. So it would be nice to have a bigger apartment, but I'm not really thinking about moving anytime soon. Kate Vedel asks, have you ever considered selling your toy duplicates? And have you considered buying toys at a flea market with resale in mind? And if the answer is yes, would you then disclose which sales page to use so that your followers, that you could know where you could get my stuff? Not really. So, of course, like I'm collecting now like very intensively since 2020. I have acquired a couple of doubles, but not a lot. I don't have a lot of doubles. So there's not a lot that I could sell to begin with. And I've just experienced how great it is to trade with someone. And I don't even have enough things to trade with people. So I'm not really thinking about selling. Sure, there are a couple of things that I like, I know, a couple of G3 doubles or whatever that I probably am not able to trade with someone or whatever. That I could, when I would have more time, maybe in the summer when my sabbatical works out, I might have more time and I might put a couple of things for sale. It was really cheap prices just to get rid of them. And I would probably do that just locally, but like German only. So like on eBay Kleinanzeigen probably. But this wouldn't be like the good stuff. The good stuff that I have doubles of, which is not a lot because I kind of traded everything away right now. The good stuff I would keep for trading, not really for selling. The next thing is like, do I ever think about reselling when I go to a flea market and pick up a thing or something? No, never. Never. The only thing now I'm doing, also online, etc., getting a couple of stuff, like a couple of things when they are really, really good prices for trading. Like, oh, there are these European exclusive ponies and they're really good price. Okay, I might just get them. Maybe I can trade them one day with someone from the US, who they are difficult to get for. Something like that. I would never think about reselling. I don't have even time to resell. And to be honest, I don't like resellers. Sure, I understand selling your doubles, sure, but I'm not getting a lot of, like lots where I end up with doubles. But if you do so and you want to just get rid of some of the doubles and then spend that money on other toys, sure, that's fair. But going to a flea market, buying the stuff that you don't want, you just know it's worth something, and then putting it up for sale. That takes a lot of money, lots of time, and I don't have a lot of time in my life. I have a lot of hobbies and a full-time job, so like, no. And as I said, don't like resellers. I also sometimes even unfollowed people from YouTube when they started making resale content. Don't like that. And which sales page, I said it. If I would have something more interesting to sell, I would probably first put it up on Instagram, ask if someone from everywhere around the world would have interest in that. But usually the more like less interesting things I would just put up on eBay Kleinanzeigen probably. Okay. Andrea Ammons asks, what do you consider to be your best flea market find to date and why? And this is hard, guys. I thought for such a long time about this because I cannot like remember one specific flea market find that like stands out, that is super valuable, that is super desirable, and I was anyway on the hunt for or whatever. I always kind of consider my best flea market finds like kind of all of the G1 ponies that I found at the flea market, which is not a lot. Like in 2020, I found maybe like 6 or 7 like G1 ponies still at the flea market. Since then, every year I just found one My Little Pony from the first generation at flea markets. The good thing is, this year I have already found one. Not yet in the video, so the video will be up in, I don't know, February or whenever. But like for example, in 2020 when I did not have these ponies yet, like that was amazing. For example, this one of the talking ponies, or boysenberry pie, found at the flea market. or just Baby Wiggles, a couple of others. Those are like my favorite flea market finds, my best finds, because this is really my main collection. And I even pick up doubles, and mostly I keep them because they're some kind of a little bit different. So, and I found them, so that means something to me. I've had quite some other really good finds, sure. Like, especially last year, I've been so lucky with Polly Pockets. Like, I think the one that stands out the most is Starshine Palace. It's a little bit discolored and it's not complete from the inside. It has some of the figures, but it comes with this topper. Like, and this was one that I was on the hunt for. I wanted to have anyways, and I found it at the flea market. Still, I paid like 15 euro. It's not like I got it for 50 cents or something. So, and it's not perfect, but it's probably one of my best Polly Pocket finds. Or I also found, you know, the Magical Moving Pollyville that day, or I don't know, some other like Polly Pockets. I've been like especially lucky because I found a lot of them that I don't even have yet, and that's, I mean, I have quite a big Polly Pocket collection, so that's kind of like amazing that I still find the ones I still need. Yeah, what other things I think stand out in my brain is a couple of plushes, although I actually don't really like collect plushes very specifically, but when I found this Popple, it was my first Popple that I found, it still is one of the best finds to me because it is in such good condition. So usually the plush on the Popples is like it's so like you know, often washed and everything. This is in such a good condition. So it's still one of my best flea market finds. Is it a really expensive toy? Nah, not really. Different, for example, is this one. This is one of the only Monchichis that I have, and I just took it, you know, it was like 1 or 2 euro, and it was pink, and it was looking a little bit different because, you know, it's got this little monster face, and when I came home, I was like, oh, this is actually a very expensive Monchichi. It's not super vintage, it's like from the 2000s or something. There was a Monchichi animated series in Japan, and this was one of the 3, you know, kind of villain characters. But it's pink and I loved it, and this one goes for more like 100 to 150 online, so it's a very good find. Do I consider it one of my best finds? No, because it doesn't mean so much to me. It's just cute, I keep it for sure. Would I sell it in the future if I need money? Well, maybe. But for now, it's one of the only Monchichi, and I like it. Another plush that I consider like a really good find is this My Pet Monster, or My Monster Pet. I still can't believe I just got to know them by like other YouTubers like Ed's Retro Geek Out or Pixel Dan, and then suddenly I find one at my local flea market for 3 euro. And I still love this one. Like, this is, I don't know, they go for more if they have the what is it called, the things around, handcuffs, that's what it's called. But this is so amazing. It's still, I think, today one of my best finds. What else? You see, I cannot name one thing. Barbies. I've been really lucky with Barbies, but there's not just one big Barbie find. I still consider Loving You Barbie one of my best finds because she's from the early to mid 80s. So these kind of Barbies you don't find that often. She's in amazing condition, has earrings, ring, and is complete with outfit, and is in such a good condition. So I still consider her probably one of my best Barbie finds. But she's still not the super expensive Barbie or like super wanted or whatever. So I don't know. One more. PJ Sparkles Twinkle, or PJ Twinkles. And she works. Got her for €1. I think it was €1 at my local flea market back in 2020. I still think it's one of the best finds. So there are a couple, but nothing stands out as in this is the one big best find. And Andrea Ammons also wants to know if I could like only save 3 toys from my room, like because of a natural disaster or something that happens, you know, fire, or she described it as, you know, having a water leak in the electrical box or something like that, and I could just save 3 toys from my collection. Which ones? Because like some of my toys are pretty small. I could probably fit just in a backpack more than 3. But okay, let's keep it like at the 3. For sure, childhood bunny. I would like. It has just sentimental value. There's no money value. But also, I could not get this one back. Like, I cannot just go on eBay and say rainbow bunny and I would find this one. No, definitely not. So, hobby number 1. Probably just go also with my favorite My Little Pony. Sure, this one I could just go on eBay and get her back, because this isn't even my childhood one. But I don't know, I have her also for a very long time in my collection. She was one of the first ones that I got back in maybe 2015 or 14 or something like that. So, and she's not one of the very cheap ponies today, so. And yeah, I thought about this beforehand, so that's why I prepared. Otherwise I would have trouble. I think I would pick Cutiosaurus. He, whatever, has been one of my grail toys for the longest time. Grail ponies, grail dinosaurs, whatever. And I finally have him or her. Spent a lot of money on it, and it's not one that I could get back very easily. And also, I mean, these two, they are just a very cute couple, aren't they? So I think it's these 3. Lips Tattoo wants to know: do you collect Sweet Secrets or the Matchbox carousel horses? The latter seems it would be something that I'd love. To both of these toy lines, no, I don't collect them. Sweet Secrets, I know this toy line. I think they're cute. They are these little, you know, they look like compacts with a little gem, very colorful at the front, so they would be very nice match to my Polly Pocket collection or something like that. But you can open them up and turn them into a doll. It's pretty cute. You know, you fold the arms out and the head, etc. But I've never seen them for sale. I've also never, they are not so like interesting to me that I went online and typed in Sweet Secrets. Never did that. Other than that, I've also never really seen them pop up otherwise, and I've never seen them at flea markets, so I don't even know if they were sold in Europe or in Germany. If I find one, I would snag it up. Like immediately, I would buy it, of course. Like this, it's not like very high on my priority list. I think they're cute. I think I would always keep them in the compact form, not as a doll, because the dolls, they're cute, but not cute enough. I think the compacts itself are cuter. In terms of the Matchbox carousel horses, like Matchbox is the company, I didn't even really know about them until like maybe 2 weeks ago. I think Mikuru, one of my toy friends, I think she got a couple of them or something that at least looked like them. I was like, oh, what's that? And then I started just researching, so like I didn't even know they were existing until like 2 weeks ago. And yeah, I mean, they look like real carousel horses, you know, on a pole, like this size about, and they are in very cute colors. To me, they are a little bit too realistic. They look like more like realistic horses. You know, carousel horses look pretty realistic. So I don't know. Again, if I would just find one, I would not say no, but it's nothing that I will actively go out hunting for. I don't think so. So yeah, that's the answer. So I think I will stop the first video, the first part here. So thank you so much for sending in all of your questions. If your question has not been answered yet, it will be in the next part or in the part after that. So thank you so much for watching. I will probably put up the next part on the next 2 parts probably already tomorrow and then the next day. So these videos will come up very, very soon. So the parts of the Q&A. See you real soon. and may the toys be with you. Bye!